Thank you for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Today we'll be making no-knead bread, a delicious, crunchy, artisan-style bread. It's a very easy recipe. It doesn't take a lot of effort, only time. It takes about 24 hours for the dough to be ready for baking. What you will need to make the bread is a Dutch oven. Now, if you don't have a Dutch oven, don't worry, you can still make the bread. You just need a container that has a lid and can go in the oven. The lid is very important as it will trap the moisture that is in the dough, allowing for the bread to rise and then creating that beautiful golden crispy crust on the bread. You will also need a plastic or glass container which will allow the dough to rise and triple in size. As for the ingredients, you will need 3 cups of warm water. Please make sure that it's warm and not hot. Warm water will activate the yeast. 1.5 teaspoons of yeast, 6 cups of flour, and then 2.5 teaspoons of salt. The salt you want to make sure that is placed on top of the flour. You mix it in a little bit with the flour and then you incorporate everything together. Now, I don't like the feeling of dough on my hands. So what I do, I take a wooden spoon and I just use the end of the wooden spoon and mix everything together. Keep mixing until all the flour is incorporated and there is no flour left in the bowl. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap. This will keep the moisture inside the bowl and not allow the dough to dry out. Then cover it with a towel and let it rest. Here we are about 2 hours later. The dough has risen nicely. Get your hands wet so the dough will not stick to your hands. Punch the dough and fold the sides. Then cover it with the plastic wrap again and the tea towel. Let it rest. Six hours later, and we have a nice rise to the dough. If some stick to the plastic wrap, no problem. Just try not to pull it too much. Remember to get your hands wet so that way the dough will not stick to your hands. Punch the dough, fold in the sides. Cover again with the plastic wrap and the towel. And now we will place the dough in the refrigerator so it stays there overnight. In the morning, we will take it out of the fridge, place it on the countertop, and allow it to come to room temperature. The next day, we removed the dough from the refrigerator and allowed it to rest in a nice warm place until it came to room temperature. The dough has risen nicely, and now we will fold it one last time. As you will notice, the dough is a lot more elastic than it was the first time we did this procedure. Next, remove the dough from the container and allow it to rest for 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, we will get the bowls prepped. Some recipes call for parchment paper. I don't like to use parchment paper just because of the waste. I found that by lining the bowls with oil and dusting some flour, the dough will not stick to the containers. And when it's time for me to remove the dough and place it in the Dutch oven, I can do it without any problems. Cut the dough in half, shape them into tight balls, and place them in the containers. Cover them with a towel and let them rest for the half hour that the oven is preheating. Preheat the oven to 450 degrees, place the Dutch oven inside, and set the time for 30 minutes. During this time, the dough will go through its final proofing. After the 30 minutes are up, it should have doubled in size. If it has not, let it sit a little longer. Score the dough and take it and place it in the hot Dutch ovens. Cover them quickly and place them in the oven. If you like your bread to have a darker golden color and a thicker crust, then take the lid off at the end of the 30 minutes and let the bread sit in the oven for an additional 5 minutes. At the end, you will have beautiful, golden, crispy, artisan-style bread. And all you have to do now is enjoy. If you like this video and found it helpful, please feel free to share it with your friends and family. Give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you will be notified anytime I upload a new video.